Hello and welcome to coverage of round number 7 here at Grand Prix Montreal. Maria Bertholdi and Reed Duke in the booth.
Boy, this is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Ari Lax, Eli Cassis. We had Ari in the booth last round. Of course, he's a Pro Tour champion, a longtime player who's very good at a wide range of formats. But Eli Cassis, no joke either. He's a player who's had a tremendous amount of success on not just the Premier Play circuit, but also the Star City Games circuit, and just a guy who's always bringing excellent game whenever he shows up to a tournament.
White, black, and green in Cassis's deck versus Demir Splash and green for Ari Lax. Rock Charger, the first play here, is going to get Plague Craftered to verb the name of that card, and both of those creatures are going to be sacrificed. Glowspore Shaman, the follow-up here for Cassis. So we're going to put the top 3 into the yard and 1 potentially on the top of the deck.
Yep, so if he needed an extra color, a second copy of any of his colors, he could put the Gateway Plaza on top.
And he does. Ooh, Sunholm Stalwart, the follow-up. Nice little 2/2 first striker with Mentor. Darkblade Agent for Ari Lax. Sunholm Stalwart just good enough to be put in a non-Boros deck, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about the fresh-faced recruit and being an overperformer. Sunholm Stalwart just a notch better with the second point of toughness, Mentor, and first strike on your opponent's turn.
The 2/3 holding both creatures off for now.
So Eli setting up the Gateway Plaza indicates that he might have a double green card, a double black card, or potentially a card that benefits him from having gates, like that Gatekeeper Gargoyle that we've seen.
Oh, yes. Glowspore Shaman swings in here. Bartizan Bats hit the table for Ari Lax last turn. And Lockdown Restorer for Cassis will gain 4 life. Those bats can get pretty annoying if you have no way to deal with them.
So you'll note that Eli did not attack with Glowspore Shaman the previous turn. That's
right,
because he was really worried about that Darkblade Agent connecting. You don't want to give your opponent an extra card in a close game if you can avoid it. So he's waiting till he has another 3-power creature on defense before he starts sending in the Glowspore Shaman.
Great point. Notion Rain here for Lax. He's going to put a counter on that Thought-Bound Phantasm, making it a 3/3 defender now. And since we had some surveilling going on, we're going to try and get in there with the Darkblade Agent, but that elephant is having none of it.
Speaking of surveilling, it looks like this could be the kind of deck that might support a
Sure.
disinformation campaign. That would be a great card for Ari if he's got, 7-8 cards that surveil in his deck.
Man, it's just impressed me every time that I've seen it, and feels like a rare in most instances.
Mm-hmm. It's a card that really limits the way the opponent can play the game. Wow, hello.
Ooh, all right. Izoni Thousand-Eyed here for Eli Cassis. We're going to get some insect tokens, 3 to be exact. This card, oh, speaking of great cards, I love Izoni.
And that's, we were thinking a double green card or a double black card. How about both?
Why not? All right, she's going to be taken care with Artful Takedown from Ari.
Yeah, you're really forced, you're obligated to spend a removal spell on Izoni because the sacrificing creatures to draw cards ability is so powerful if the board is stalled. But in a way, she's sort of done her job already with producing the 3 insects. So Eli can't be too disappointed with that exchange that leaves him behind with 3 additional creatures.
Thought-Bound Phantasm has been a card, too, that I thought would not really see as much play as I've seen it get, and every time I've seen it, I've just been like, yeah, that card's better than I expected.
Yeah, it's just what these slow Demir decks want, which is an oversized blocker on the cheap early in the game, and then something that becomes a real threat, a win condition once the game is developed a bit. You've been able to surveil a few times.
Thief of Sanity here for Ari Lax. Just an excellent card, and if it goes unanswered, will completely take over the game.
Yeah, we saw that one in round 1, but that was a matchup where there were too many beacon bolts and direct currents flying around. But Ely Cassis with the white-green-black deck, he is, this card demands an answer. And if Ely doesn't have one, he's, whoa.
No way! Well, you just said it, Reed. If he doesn't have an answer. Wow, well, that's one of the most aggressive scoops I've ever seen in my life.
So I could tell you what happened there, which is that Ely must have had a bad draw facing down the Thief of Sanity. Ari had been missing land drops and surveilling, so Ely knows with 100% certainty that Ari's hand is strong. And he says, you know what, if I play this out, I'm going to run the clock, and I'm going to turn my whole deck upside down for Ari to look at.
Right.
So if I know, if the wind is blowing in such a way where I know I'm going to lose, I might as well just concede early and take my chances in the next 2 games.
Wow. So Ari Lax takes down that game. Up a game currently over Ely Cassis. Both players currently undefeated here in the tournament hall. Wow. When the writing's on the wall, it is on the wall. Now players head to their sideboards here for game number 2. And we saw in that game 2 one of the 3 deadweights that Ari Lax has in his deck list used on that Sunhome Stalwart. Just an absolute premium removal spell at 1 black mana.
I think I said in a previous round, when I get the deck lists in front of me, the first thing I look at is the multicolor cards, and
what do you got?
Both these guys are packing some nice ones.
Yes.
The 3 color decks, when you get to this stage in the tournament, you can expect some nice gold cards, but Ely with Izoni Thousand-Eyed, which we saw, Tristani Discordant, which, boy, that's a nice combination if you can draw those 2 together.
Absolutely.
Camaraderie. So perfect sort of token board stall deck with a lot of late game power for just hundreds of removal spells here, Night Veil Predator. So both these guys with really good looking decks, I would be very pleased to be in either of their positions right now.
Ely Cassis 5 Grand Prix top 8s. His last GP top 8 was in Vegas with Modern earlier this year. Ari Lax has 9 Grand Prix top 8s. 1 Pro Tour Cons of Tarkir.
Yeah, Ari's a guy who's been around and been a very good player for a long time. I remember when I was getting my start. I'm sorry, already putting up great finishes in tournaments. Despite being a young guy, he's only my age.
All right, we're working on the stream problem. Sorry if you're having the stream look a little funny on your end.
I've always liked decks like what Ely Cassis has for a sealed deck tournament.
Why is that?
Well, I think so much of sealed is about having a nice creature base, and when you see a deck like green, or a 2 or 3 color green deck, what you get is you get these nice meaty creatures where you have the ability to punish an opponent who is playing for too slow of a game or has a bad draw, whatever it might be. But also, if you have the late game power, the rares that Ely has, that means you can slow down the game, produce some blockers, and then let your powerful cards win for you in the long game. So you can take sort of either approach. That makes you a little more difficult to sideboard against. And we've seen, as good as these blue decks are, they do have some elements that can be exploited. Frank Scarron with the double Dawn of Hope deck, for example. That's something you're never beating with a slow blue deck, but with green creatures, you could just get a nice curve out and punish them if they're playing too slow.
All right, here we go. Underway in game 2. Sunhome Stalwart, the first play here for Cassis. Thief of Sanity, why not on turn 3 here for Ari Lax? All right, no concession yet from Cassis, so he must have something. It's another Sunhome Stalwart. All right, well, that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, although he is going to get hit with Thief of Sanity. So what this means is that Ari's basically going to have a great play to make every turn. So
Yeah.
that means Ely, he's doing fine on the board right now, but he needs to continue making good plays, because if he misses a beat, he's going to get buried. But not an emergency yet, but he just knows that he can't take his foot off the pedal.
And he's just going to go ahead and play a Night Veil Predator.
Yeah, that's
All
really bad for
right.
Ely. The only good thing is that his creatures have first strike, so if he does have some kind of way to bolster their power, he can actually kill the Night Veil Predator, but no, this game is over.
Wow. The most excellent 3 into 4 that you can put together here, that I've seen today anyway. Boom! In comes a Predator. In comes a Thief of Sanity, about to steal more of Cassis's remaining sanity. Look at the top 3 here. I see a Generous Stray among the 3, including a land and one other card. And if you didn't believe in the power of the 2-2, you probably do now. All right, so it looks like the Stray was the pickup there for Lax. It's one of those 2 cards exiled from Cassis's library.
And remember, with the Thief of Sanity, you can still cast the spells that it exiled, even if the Thief of Sanity dies.
Yep, for as long as that card remains exiled. And there's one of the 3 deadweights in Ari's deck. And here's a Plague Crafter to get the other Sunhome Stalwart. Wow, what a turn. And Cassis just extends the hand. Ari Lax wins that match 2-0. Wow, Cassis just could not get in on those games whatsoever.
No.
That was a stomping.
Thief of Sanity is certainly one of those cards that makes for very non-competitive games if it gets out of hand.
Right.
And the 1-2 punch of the Thief of Sanity going unanswered, plus the Night Veil Predator, which is, effectively a brick wall that you can't get past, can't point a removal spell at. Those 2 cards are just too powerful, combined with Ely having a bad mana draws over before it started.
Yeah, you see Ely there just kind of has to say, that's sometimes how it goes. Thief of Sanity into Night Veil Predator. GG.
But if you're an Ely Cassis fan, don't worry. He's 6-1, which means he's already qualified to play day 2. He's got a great sealed deck, so maybe you can put up a 7-2 or 8-1 finish going into the next day.
And you were talking about his deck, too. It sounds really sweet. Mm-hmm. So, not too much to worry about for Ely Cassis there. We've got some other cool action in our feature match area, too, by the way. Ray Perez is at one of our feature tables, as well as Jen Krotz, who we got to see on camera, I think, in round number 2. Anyway, we'll have more Magic coming up in just a second. Don't go anywhere.